New York Jets offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur was outstanding against the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. LaFleur emptied the clip for Mike White in his first NFL start, and the result was 405 passing yards. I'm going to show you how LaFleur bounced back from the heavy criticism, from myself included, the new wrinkles he added, and why his game plan was perfect on Sunday against the Bengals. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? Luke here from PLAJ, and honestly, I've been waiting to make this Mike LaFleur positive video for the last few weeks, and we finally got that performance on Sunday against the Bengals. I want to show you what he did so well, some of the new wrinkles he added, and I want to start with possibly my favorite, and it was prevalent and heavy on the first drive of the game, and it's this toss, pin, and pull motion that he used frequently throughout the game. Let's jump into the first play that I want to discuss, and it's the second play from scrimmage for the Jets. They took the ball in the first quarter. They're going to run a fake pin pull to the left of a toss. So you're going to see Elijah Vera-Tucker come out with Ryan Griffin, the tight end. They're both going to act as lead blockers. As we let this thing roll, you're going to see Michael Carter pretend to receive it, and then they're going to sneak Denzel Mims across the formation, and he is wide open. Now, how does Mims get so open? I want you to watch the flow of the linebackers at the second level as this fake toss comes. Look at both the linebackers heading across the formation. You get a down block from the offensive tackle. Mims fakes a crack block, and then he sneaks out the fake toss, and he's wide open. Mims turns it upfield. It's a 25-plus yard gain. Gets called back a little bit for a hold, but it's a phenomenal start to the game. And then to finish the first drive, you see them actually toss the ball to Michael Carter. It's a great way to piece plays together, and this is what made this package so successful. Snap out of shotgun. You've got Michael Carter lined up to the left. You see the toss. You've got Elijah Vera-Tucker and Tyler Kroft both coming out. I would call this a pin pull rather than a crack toss, because you've got the guard pulling rather than the tackle and two lead blockers. AVT, Kroft both do a great job sealing. Denzel Mims gets to his man at the second level, and Michael Carter's able to take it in. It's meshing plays together. It's marrying them, and this was an extremely successful concept. Now, what does a good offensive coordinator do when something's working? They shelve it and they save it for a big moment. Huge drive for the Jets here. This time they're out of single back, and Mike White comes out, and again you see this fake toss to Michael Carter. You're going to see the pulling action. This one's more of a crack toss. You just have the tackle coming out across the formation. Once again, this time they sneak Elijah Moore out. The linebackers are flowing. Look, Mike White's a little late to let go of this football. This should be let go of now. The safety drives and nearly forces an incompletion, but it's just a fantastic concept. This package 3 or 4 times, extremely successful, generated big plays and a touchdown for the Jets. An awesome wrinkle that we haven't seen yet, and I thought it made a huge difference to the success of this offense. Now what we get is a pin pull, but this time he gives a different look rather than the toss. So he utilizes the athleticism of Elijah Vera-Tucker. He knows it's the strength of this football team. So Mike LaFleur decides to pin pull with a counter rather than that toss. They're in the shotgun. You see they fake an inside zone, something that's been successful. They run a little jet motion across the formation. Now I want you to watch. You get both the tight end in sift motion and Elijah Vera-Tucker out in space. They both hit terrific blocks. Vera-Tucker with displacement. Ryan Griffin just pancakes his man, and it's the burst from Michael Carter that we've seen all season long. He's been fantastic. There'll be a video on him later in the week, but I want you to watch jet motion, pin pull action, 2 men out in space. Michael Carter splits them, read his blocks, accelerates, and it's a huge gain. When they got down in the red zone, when they needed a big play, they went to their toss package and they went to pin and pull motion. Fantastic from Mike LaFleur. Something else that carried over from last week's game and we saw become more prevalent, design touches for Elijah Moore. 3 or 4 of them in this game. They weren't ultimately huge plays, but it was 5, 6, 7 yards every single time. On this occasion, you get that kind of pop pass that we see in Kansas City. He comes in motion across the formation. Mike White with a little pop and good blocking from the receivers out in space is able to prevent taking a hit, getting injured like we saw with the concussion, and gets out of bounds to 8 yards. It's very simple, but it's something we've seen more and more in this offense, and it's going to be super important for the Jets to keep getting Elijah Moore involved in space, because he looks great when they do. So we've discussed the new wrinkles, some of the things that LaFleur's been introducing, but man, did he empty the whole bag and playbook when it came to trick plays on Sunday. This first one, they just took straight from the Patriots, who scored on them the week before. You're going to see Jamison Crowder in motion, who was Can I just add, the only New York Jets player to complete a pass coming into the season. You see Mike White finds him on a little backwards pass. They fake the block from Jeff Smith, and then he sneaks out, gets a DPI on him. Could have been a touchdown. A really nice implemented play. Took it from the Patriots. This was the first example of them really looking to stress and stretch and be creative and try and damage the Cincinnati Bengals defense. This is the 2-point play. Everyone's seen it. Mike White on the ground celebrating, putting the Jets up by 3 late in the fourth quarter. A little variation of the Philly special. You're going to see this time, instead of a direct snap to the receiver, it's a little handoff. You then get a little end around, and that hits Mike White, who's wide open. A really nice concept. Something that actually Robert Saleh said they would have run on the first 2-point conversion, but Jamison Crowder was out at that time. They got him back. They execute. Jamison Crowder throwing the football twice in this game. Probably something the Bengals did not game plan for coming into it. And then one more example. Call it a flea flicker, whatever you like. It's a little backwards shovel pass here from Mike White. Michael Carter does a nice job getting the ball back to him. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. The Bengals aren't super fooled here. They actually do a really nice job at the second level and in the secondary, staying with their receivers. But nice job from Mike White hitting his target. It works. It's effective. And it's great to see Mike LaFleur be creative, put his players in positions to be successful, and just offer more on offense than we've seen through the first 6 games of the season. The last 2 things I want to touch on here are both talking about implementing changes that really Jets fans have been calling for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And the first is more screens. This first one is a great example of misdirection. You see the motion. They try and get the linebackers flowing. In this instance, it's actually man, so it's not a great look for this call, but they misdirect with the motion. They bring it back for the screen. And now just watch Michael Carter work. This is outstanding. This is giving your player an opportunity in space. I'm going to have a video on him, as I mentioned, but look at the balance after contact, the ability to spin and find that first down. Just really creative play call. I love that LaFleur is using more motion. He's utilizing backs in the backfield rather than a guy like Trayvon Wesco. He's using receivers in that role. And then they're able to just put the ball in guys' hands who are explosive, who have great short area quickness. And it's been super successful for the Jets, and it really was on Sunday. Another example of a screen. It's nothing fancy. It's just giving Michael Carter an opportunity to do what he does well and utilizing the athleticism of a guy like Elijah Vera Tucker. Connor McGovern, who's good on the second level. He's a really athletic center. It's playing to the strengths of your football team, and that's what has pleased me most about Mike LaFleur over really the last 6 quarters, and it was really evident on Sunday. Last thing I want to talk about, and I love this play call, but it's going empty, and I kind of referenced this last week. You saw him trending more in this direction, clearing up the picture for Zach Wilson. He continued it in the red zone and on big downs for Mike White. This is almost the identical play that the Jets ran against the Green Bay Packers in the preseason. It's a stick nod from Tyler Kroft in a big moment for a touchdown. You're going to see him settle and fake with that shoulder like he's going to sit down and run a little stick route. You then see him nod, get to the second level. There's a miscommunication between the linebacker and the safety, and he's just wide open. It's a great job from Mike White identifying the bust. His eyes go right off the snap, but he comes back and finds that open man. Great concept. I love the timing from Mike LaFleur, and going empty was fantastic. So guys, that's just a summary of why I was so impressed with Mike LaFleur. I've been critical of him, and I think rightfully so. And I know that fans have kind of said on Twitter, and a lot of people have been saying it was the same play calling. It wasn't. There were so many nuanced changes, so many additional wrinkles. I talked about the toss package, 6 screens they ran, 4 wide receiver runs or pop passes. They ran 3 trick plays, more pin pull motion, crack toss. Fantastic game plan, fantastic execution. Let's hope we see more of it moving forward with Mike White on Thursday and Zach Wilson for the remainder of the season.